Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be online with you guys today. I know I've been MIA for a little while, and that's because, well, you're going to find out in the next few minutes while I'm live with Leroy because I've been in the kitchen cooking up some good stuff. So, I want to first welcome Leroy. Leroy, introduce yourself to our network to anyone who doesn't know you already.
Good afternoon, good people. And as I say, what's up, good people? It's your boy, Leroy McKenzie Jr., the Impact Builder. And just as Lakeisha is excited, I'm so excited as well to be a part of the Rethinking Church organization, part of the Rethinking Church just dynamic that is happening, that has been happening for just about for over a year now, for just about a year, just a little over a year now. That has just been phenomenal. We got some great things that are coming up, which we're here to talk to everyone about today. I'm just a part of this team that Lakeisha has put together, that is coming together to do some impacting and influencing. So hopefully that's what we'll be able to do. And we got some exciting things that we're going to be talking about today. Like Lakeisha said, she been in the lab, she been in the kitchen cooking. I've been in the lab, as y'all know that might listen to me or watch me. I'm in the lab. We're in the lab doing those things that we need to do to be able to influence and impact our communities as we love and enjoy to do so much. So, Lakeisha, we're here to talk to the people, to tell them what's going on and get them excited about what's going to be happening over the next several months, not just the next couple of months, but the next several months, and just the exciting things that's in store for the Rethinking Church family, Rethinking Church Nation. So,
Yes. So we actually met last year at the virtual summit. For those of you who don't know, Rethinking Church actually started as a workshop that I was doing, and then it evolved into, I think, a workbook. And then last year I was on the road and COVID hit. And so I started doing a lot of work virtually. A lot of churches were like, hey, we need help. Churches that were not embracing this whole digital movement were like, hey, I need help. And so we put together our first virtual summit last summer. We had 4 days. We had over 60 speakers. Leroy was one of the people who applied to be a speaker, and we connected, and we've just been bonding and working together ever since. But a lot of people don't know is like I was basically running Rethinking Church, like me and a couple of friends who were like helping here and there, but everything that was happening was like work that I was putting in. And I got to the point where, and I'm not embarrassed to say it, but I was burning out. It's like I was trying to run my business. I'm a mom. I got engaged. I had my ministry, and I had Rethinking Church. And I was just like, yo, like, I can't do this. I can't do it all by myself. And so I really went into prayer. And that's a part of the reason why I've been MIA, is because I was having all these visions and having all these ideas to move forward with, but I realized like I couldn't do it by myself. So I started building a team. The first person that came on to the team was Dianca. Dianca is our director of communications. So some of you might want to go check your emails, because Dianca's been emailing people about being a speaker, emailing you about participating, and we haven't been getting a response. So check your email and see if you have an email from Dianca, because you might be missing out on an opportunity because you didn't know that that's who the email should be coming from. So excited to have Dianca. She helps me immensely with communicating. So that's why she's the director of communication. The next person that we brought on was Leroy. Leroy is amazing at promotions. Like, he's been one of my biggest supporters, putting stuff out. So I'm like, hey, like, let's make this official. Like, let's make it a partnership. So Leroy is coming on as our director of community relations. So he's going to be helping to build out this community. A lot of you guys know, like, We don't have a lot of stuff that posts in Rethinking Church in the group page. And it's not because you're not putting out good content, but it's because I don't have the time or haven't had the time to vet the content to make sure that it aligns with our vision. So Leroy is going to be putting together a team to help with that so that we can post more of your stuff in our group. But we just want to make sure that what we're putting in the group aligns with the vision of the organization. We also have our director of marketing. She doesn't know she's getting a shout out today, but Bernice Lohman of Lohman Creative Services. Love her work. She's coming on to be doing our graphic design. So the basic designs that you guys have been seeing from me, like we're about to take it up a notch. So today is like the last day, hopefully, of these basic designs that we've been putting together. Super excited. She's going to be working on branding for a lot of the other projects that we have in store as well. So we also have some positions that we're going to be hiring for in the fall. So, if you're interested in putting in a bid for a director of some of the departments that we're creating, make sure that you're a part of our Facebook group. Make sure that you're on our email list, because those are the people that we'll be sending out the notifications for, because we're about to grow this thing. Leroy, we're about to take it to the next level, which is like so exciting. But we're a family, and so we're gonna do this as a team. So welcome to the team officially, Leroy.
Absolutely. Like you said, it's just, it's exciting. And you and I have had this conversation. Just when you have a business that you've taken under your wing, or that you've taken on, the vision that you've had, Lakeisha, and see it grow and morphing into what it is that that God is leading and guiding you into becoming. It's a beautiful thing to actually watch, and then to actually be a part of it is even better, because you just get to have you can actually, when you sit back, and we'll sit back, once all of this is done, and we can sit back like proud parents, because we've been involved with this project from the beginning, and just the folks that will come on board, as other team members, other family members, and everything like that. It'll be something that I believe it's been everyone that's been involved so far, and then those that we know will come on. It's the same mindset, heading in the same direction, having the same, us latching on to your vision, to what it is and where it is that you want to go, what you see Rethinking Church becoming. And it will always be, as, and I hate to use this kind of attachment, but as Michelle Obama said, becoming. And that was an apt title that she gave to her book. And one of the things that she says is that we're always becoming, and we're always changing, morphing into who we are different. Muhammad Ali said, some years ago, he said, if you're the same person at 40 that you were at 20, then you've just wasted 20 years of your life.
Yeah.
And that's what business is about. It's about growing. It's about morphing. And you can just see. And I mean, you got the hands on just from last year to this year,
Right.
how just that time frame. I mean, and that 12-month, and we're not even at the 12-month mark yet. But
Right.
that 8, 9, 10-month time frame, how it's grown, and I know you probably had your idea of what it would look like initially. And I'm gonna ask you, when you think about it, when you think about Rethinking Church, when you first had this idea of what it was going to be, what the summit was going to be last year, and now that you get to reflect a year later, talk about that, and how, what does it look like, what you thought it would look like,
Right, and I'm gonna be so transparent. Like, I had no idea. So, like, when I did the summit, like, it was really just gonna be the summit. And when it was over, like, I was really surprised at just like the response that we got, where people were like so excited, and the Facebook grew to like over 1,000 people, and I was just like, oh wow. And people were just like, okay, so what's next? Like, what else are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. And so a lot of the stuff that we've done in the past year has
yeah.
not been intentional. It's been like, okay, here's a need. Okay, here's something that we can do. And that's why I really had to take a step back to figure out, like, okay, so what is the vision for this? Like, what do I want it to be? And the vision that I've kind of settled on, and someone actually challenged me to write out the vision for Rethinking Church. And
Mm,
I realized like I want us to be an economic driver in our communities, which is one of
I
the
like
reasons
that.
why we're hiring people. So it can't just be me. It has to be something bigger than me if we're going to truly impact our communities. I want it to be a space of liberation. So, when I wrote kind of our vision statement, it's like, we're here for the liberation of all people. Like there are no qualifications. Like it's not about, your racial identity. It's not about your denominational affiliation. It's not about your sexual identity. Like we believe that all people should be liberated. And those are the types of ministry projects. Those are the types of speakers that we want to bring to the stage that help people to find like, how do I do ministry outside of what I've always been doing, outside of, how where I've always been serving? How do I reach new people? And how do I do it in a way that truly connects with people? So it's been interesting because I had no idea. Even thinking about the summit this year. So after last year, the biggest request that we got, which still like blows my mind, people wanted a book list. They were like, "Oh my God, I want
Mm,
to know like what people are reading,
mm.
like, what are their books?" And so that's why we have the 2 registration levels where people can get books from all of the speakers, or you can get books from just the speakers in your cohort. Because like I kind of feel like Rethinking Church is where we go to nerd out. Like it's where like the theological nerds, where the business nerds, where people who, you want to go beyond like the fluff and the hoop, and like all that is great, but there are people who really are into the practice,
Yeah.
people who, do this professionally, and they want a space where they can come and like talk about it and engage with people. And so that's what I think that's where we are right now. Like that's the vision. That's what I want to cultivate and build more of.
And here's the thing, and I'll tell you this, and I don't know if I've said this to you before, but ever since 2012, I went to this entrepreneurship conference that was here in Baltimore, and it was actually held by one of the churches here, and they had Dr. Cindy Trim as
Mm,
one of the. She was the keynote. She was the keynote speaker. Can I tell you? One, I had like I mean, so many pages of notes
I'm
just
sure.
from what she gave. And I came away from that particular conference saying this one thing, that everything that I did and that I wanted to do, whether it was whatever conference or expo summit that I attended or that I put on, it had to have me come away or have the attendees come away with something that was tangible,
Right.
that they had an experience
Yeah.
from. And what made it an experience for me was the fact that Dr. Cindy Trim was not afraid to share the knowledge, the information, and the resources that she had. It
Right.
was just her pouring out into those of us who it came to that conference. Here we are almost 10 years later,
Wow.
and I still use that as a blueprint for what I believe conferences should be like. And last year at your summit, I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This gives people not just like you said, the fluff and everything like that.
Right.
For those that want to come and get that, that's fine. That's on you. But for those that want more, the summit gave you substance. It gave you those things that you will be able to take away from the conference and be able to grow from. You would be able to take them and be able to implement them immediately from all of the different committees that you created, the think tanks. I
Yeah.
thought was an excellent idea. Those things that went on afterwards to that kept people engaged, that kept people together talking about, okay, like you were saying, what's the next step? What are those things that the community needs, and how can we implement them so that it goes beyond the summit? It's
Right.
not just
Right.
we got to wait till the next year. We got to wait till 2021 to experience the summit all over again in order to be able to get information. There have been things that you've had going on for Rethinking Church throughout this year. I mean, I think about the different consortiums and things that you've had that dealt with, that dealt with the issues in the community, from the voting, the voting, the voting symposium that you had, the preachers event that you had. So you had all of these things that were going on that kept people that were involved in the Rethinking Church Summit, kept them involved in it. And now here we are again. We're right back, and that year went by really quick.
Really fast, yes.
It went by so quick. But here we are again, coming onto the precipice of the summit, and there's even more that you
Oh my
added
goodness.
to it.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's what we're here today.
I would have put it because you have been a part of the economic empowerment think tank. And
Yes.
for a lot of people who don't know, like my vision was to have like these think tanks to come out, because a lot of times if we don't create spaces for people from different groups, from different backgrounds to come together around an issue of interest. And so you're part of the economic empowerment think tank, and you guys have met regularly since the summit, and you come up with some great things. So first, tell us a little bit about the people who are in the think tank with you.
Well, I mean, I can't say enough about the group and I guess it's just how I love how God works, because everyone that is on that team, from Chuck to Maisha, and I won't get to the name because I know I forget people's
Right.
name. Yeah,
Yeah.
but Chuck, Maisha, Helen,
Levon, Cedric,
Levon, yeah,
Ronald.
Cedric. It's a number, but everyone that is a part of that economic empowerment committee, we're committed to that very thing, the vision that you gave us, the charge that you gave us about creating these empowerment opportunities within our communities. How can we create the ecosystem that we need? How can we do business with each other better? Giving us access. How do we create access for those that want to go to a particular city and want to patronize Black-owned businesses? So putting all of these thoughts together, these ideals that you had together, and bringing them to fruition has been our charge, and everyone on that team has been like, let's go. What do we do? Let's put these things together. Let's put these steps together. Let's put all of these things together so that Rethinking Church can have this at one as an organization, but then us as a community can have it as a whole. So it's been great working with everybody on that team, and just seeing, like I told you, using our intellectual capital, using our human capital, all of the resources that we have as collected beautiful Black people, intelligent Black people, coming together and saying, you know what, yeah, we've got this, we can do this, and making it better for ourselves, making it better for the community. Impact and influence, that's what it's about. And I can't say enough about the team. It's been phenomenal. It's been great to be like-minded, and everybody on one accord about what we need to do and how we need to go about doing it.
And you guys have totally like surpassed any expectation that I had, and just like so excited. And like I don't sit in on a lot of your meetings because
Mhm.
I didn't want it to be about me. Like I gave
Right.
you guys kind of a loose idea of what I would like to
Yeah.
see, but I was really excited to see that you all took that and really ran with it. And so I just want to share a little bit with you guys about what's about to come out of our economic empowerment think tank. One, there'll be a symposium in the fall where they put together a great list of speakers that will come and really talk about, doing business in the community, doing business as a church, nonprofits. There's like so many sectors that you guys are covering from an economic empowerment standpoint. And then we've been in conversation with an app developer about building a virtual Black business ecosystem. And when we say ecosystem, that means that it's more than just a directory. We're not going to give you guys all the goodies yet, but it's more than just a directory. But it's
Yes.
really going to be a space where, and just to go off on a small little tangent, like I have a whole issue with like the whole boycotting thing, because we always talk about boycotting, but we don't have a way to boycott that is sustainable. So it's like, yeah, you say, we're going to buy black, like, one day, but what happens the other 29, 30 days of the month? Like Walmart doesn't care if they get your money on the 2nd or on the 10th. And we haven't built the ecosystem where we can sustain buying black, where just like Maggie Anderson did, my Black Year, a lot of us don't have access to the grocery store, to the pharmacy, to the other goods, to cell phone providers, where we can truly say, I want to support 100% Black businesses. So a part of that ecosystem that we're building is going to be including suppliers of those types of services, so that you have a place to go that outside of just restaurants. So I think restaurants, clothing, hair, like all of that is great, but there are other needs that we have that we spend some major dollars on that we can be giving our money to. So we're working on building out that ecosystem, and just so excited that you guys were like, yes, like I see the vision, and here are the things that we can do to make that happen. So,
and here's the thing that what you just talked about with about understanding the protest and the and the boycotting and everything like that. It has its place, but like you said, this is why we're on such one accord, because I've told people, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine that you want to do the boycott. I said, you say, okay, Christmas time, you say you're gonna take one day, 2 days and out, and you're not gonna shop there, and like you just said, which people never think about. Yeah, they'll wait. They don't mind, because they'll sit there and wait. I said, but here's the thing that you need to do. What strategically are you doing to go beyond? And I'm gonna take yours. I took yours even further beyond the month. I said you should, even if you. My thing was in 12 months, and looking in 12 months increments, saying, okay, we want you to be able to, because if we take a month and you strategically target a specific business, nobody go to this business for this particular month. Let's say, like you said, let's take Target. Nobody shops at Target. Everybody goes somewhere else to, to get whatever it is that you need. And we have Black businesses that you can go into to be able to shop in, outside of Target, or say if you can't find something, because there's products that you just have to absolutely, you can't find that we don't, as a business, we don't offer. You can go to Walmart, or you can go somewhere else, but Target is not the place that you go. Or if you want to do a particular gas station, nobody go to Exxon, because what that does, I promise you, like you said, I promise you, if you take 30 days worth of money or income from a particular business, you're going to get their attention.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You will get their attention with that. And it doesn't have to, when you do it strategically like that, as opposed to 1 or 2 days, yeah, they'll blow you off. They can blow you off, or will blow you off beyond the boycotting, or beyond no, here's a strategy. And there's some folks that are doing this stuff right now. And I don't know if you paid attention to Roland Martin and them. They're doing it on the media aspect. They are hitting these folks hard.
Yeah,
like, no, we're not playing games anymore. And we have to understand that the leverage that we have, and the leverage that we create with the economic, with the ecosystem, with the Black ecosystem, that becomes a powerful tool. It becomes like the Black Wall Street. It becomes like the Montgomery bus boycott, where everybody worked together. It wasn't that they just had a bus boycott. It was the fact that that boycott went over 300. I think it went over a year. It was over 365 days. So you're talking, I think it might have been a year and a year and some months into it. But you took that transportation system, and you take that money out of it, that was taken out of it, because people were carpooling, they were walking, they were taking their bikes, however means they need. If they were walking, whichever way that they needed to be able to get to their job or do what they needed to do without using public transportation, they did it. And what happened was, as a result of it, they started to listen. They started to listen, and it made a difference. Same thing here. If we collectively put together our dollars and say, hey, we want our dollars to recycle in our community X amount of days instead of 6 hours. I'm going to say that
Right.
again. Instead of X amount of days versus 6 hours, our dollars only don't even recycle. That's not even recycled. It only stays in our community 6 hours and it's gone.
Right.
Everybody else, you have anywhere from 30 days to 17 days to I think 10 days or whatever for the different ethnic groups as far as how much their money. Ours is the only one that's under a day,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
and that,
that
right, and
that's what
that's what the ecosystem is about. Because I know,
right.
some people have issue and they're just like, well, there are, Black people who work at Target and Walmart, and I totally support that. But I think that the issue that we really want people to take away is that when you support Black businesses, you're supporting Black families and you're supporting Black communities. So
Right.
if you have to go to Target or you have to go to Walmart, that's great. But you also need to have alternatives so that we can support our communities. Because the reality is, when you look around this country and you look at a lot of Black communities, even Black communities that have Black businesses, a lot of them are struggling. And they're struggling because they don't have the level of support that they need to actually
Absolutely.
succeed. And that's the point that we're trying to make, is when we put our money into our community, then we can start beautification projects. We
Yep.
can have better schools. We can have increased home values, but all of that is tied together. And
Yep.
so that's where the economic empowerment think tank is really, you guys are really like putting in some work to figure out, like, how do we support those businesses, and how do we create something that is engagement driven, so that it's not a one-stop shop, but it's something that people will continue to come back to and to use as a resource. So excited about that. But then from an economic empowerment standpoint, we have another project that we're working on, the Business Incubator, which
Yes.
Shanice, tell us your thoughts about about the Business Incubator.
Let me tell you, your vision, Lakeisha, has been just totally awesome from an overall perspective. And then when you actually broke it down as to how you can make the community better, but then you always say how we make the community better. And for those businesses or even aspiring entrepreneurs, this business incubator, the accelerator program, is something that is for you. It's created because one of my pet peeves has been our businesses being having the mindset of excellence,
Yeah.
doing business in excellence. It's being aptly taught, equipped, and then impacted. And for those of y'all that know me, that's what I say: enlighten, empower, and impact. Enlighten means to teach you something. Empower means to equip you with something, and then impact you is to give you the tools so that you can go out and do something. And that's what Jesus's ministry was. That's where that came from for me, because he taught his disciples something, he equipped them with something, and then he charged them to go out and do something. So those are the three things, and that's what this business incubator is about. It's about It's about teaching. It's about teaching aspiring entrepreneurs how to effectively run their business. It's about equipping them with the tools that they need so that they can have a successful business, and then impacting them to go out and actually do what it is that you actually use, the resources and tools that you've gotten. And that's what the business incubator is about. So if you are an aspiring entrepreneur, if you are an entrepreneur that wants to get more tools and teachings and everything like that, this is for you, because it's a program that will do just that. It's going to give you those aspects of your business, is what I call. You can get the teachings, and you can get books on how to open a business, start a business anywhere. But what this incubator will do will teach you how to keep the doors open. And that's what it is, because most businesses, for you all that know, most businesses fail within the first 5 years. And they fail within the first 5 years because they're not adequately equipped. They don't take the time to learn. they don't take the time to get equipped, and as a result of that, they can't go out and produce what it is that they want to produce as businesses. So Lakeisha again said, "Hey, this is what I want to do. I want to be able I want to teach, equip, and impact." And that was her idea for the incubator. This is what we'll do. This is how we'll do it. Where you come, you select to be able to be a part of the program, and I'll let you tell I guess the other details about it and what people will get, because coming out of it, you're going to come away with it with your business rolling up and ready to roll, and embedded and ready to be able to do what you envisioned it to be able to do.
Yes, this is not one of those programs where you just kind of come and watch some videos and sit back. Like, this
Nope.
is action. Like, this is all about, like, if you're serious, like, even if your business is like a side hustle right now and you're trying to transition into making it a legitimate business. Because I've worked with a lot of people who have a full-time job and they have this side hustle and they're trying to figure out, like, how do I make my side thing my main thing? And there's a process for doing that, so that once you step away from the main thing that's been paying your bills, that you can actually sustain. So there are 8 sessions. We're going to meet every 2 weeks starting in September. And in between those 2 weeks, like, you have assignments, like, there's work that you have to do, and you have to, like, complete a checklist. And at the end of the program, you're going to have an opportunity to pitch your idea, pitch your business to actually get money in your business account. So it's not only about doing the work in the sessions, but it's about building something that you can sustain in the long term. So we're going through business basics. We're going to help you get legally established. You're going to have access to Live Plan, which is a business planning software. We're giving you access to QuickBooks to show you how to use it to do your accounting. We're giving you access to Canva for a year and show you how to do graphic design. You're going to learn about protecting your business, insurance, wills, trust. Like, there's so much that's going to be covered in that time. And you have 3 instructors. So it's me, Leroy, and Shadid. You have access to us, so you'll be able to schedule one-on-one time if you need, as well as the group session. So you're gonna walk away with a serious like you won't be hustling anymore. Like, you're gonna walk away with a business that you can feel proud about, that you understand. It wasn't like, well, somebody told me to do this or they told me to do that. Like, you're gonna do the work and understand why you're doing it. So super excited to launch the incubator in September. But before September,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say. I mean, this is certainly a program that is for those that are serious, because entrepreneurship is we say, and I tell people this. I'm be straight up with people. It's not for everybody. It's not. This is not for everybody, and you're going to have to do the work. That's what being in business for yourself is about. It's about doing the work. There are going to be days where I always say this, it'll have you curled up like a baby, crying and saying, "Why in the world did I do this? Or am I doing this?" Because it's not easy. If it were easy, then everyone would be doing it. So we have to make sure that we are, that your mindset is right, and that you are ready to be able to do what it is that's going to be necessary for you to be able to, that you're going to be able to do what's necessary in order to be able to have that business. And that's what this incubator, the business incubator will definitely do, because you're going to have to do the work. There are going to be assignments. There's going to be, you're going to have to do the work in between the sessions, the 2-week sessions. There's going to be a checklist for you to be able to accomplish things. And of course, we're going to be there to be able to assist if you have any questions or need assistance and stuff like that. But you're going to have to work. It's going to be like, oh God, I'm in school. Yes, you are in school. You are in school.
Right. But I feel like a lot of times, like, because our society is like so image driven, like a lot of people have like, the image of a business. But then when you start looking at, have you filed like your trademark application? Have you filed your LLC? What accounting software are you using? Is your business able to apply for a PPE loan? Like, it's so much behind the scenes stuff that people don't know about, but they have like a beautiful website and they have a beautiful logo, but then it's like they don't have sales processes. They don't have a customer service system. You're like still taking orders through your Cash App because you don't have an e-commerce system. So it's like so much that goes into like truly running a business. And I've been running my business for 15 years. Like, full-time, no other job. So what we're bringing to this is not like theory or something that we've been doing for a couple of months and it's like launching out into the deep, but it's truly like, the best practices to help you accelerate. And that's why it's an incubator / accelerator, whatever you want to call it, because we're going to give you all the stuff that it took us years to figure out. We're going to get you up and running in 4 months, because again, we believe that the more successful businesses that we have in our communities, the more successful our communities are. So if you're just like hustling, then you're not able to contribute as much to your community. But, if we're helping you to generate, 6 figures through your business, then you're able to hire people. You become an economic driver. You're able to buy from suppliers. You're able to hire other contractors. It makes a difference when you become an economic driver versus you just having a side hustle.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It really does. So that's, I mean, we just giving y'all a little bit of what y'all will get with Rethinking Church. So, I mean, we haven't even got into the other stuff yet, Lakeisha, about what
so. Yeah, so let's jump into July. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So you guys have probably seen, if you're in the Rethinking Church group, you've seen the graphics come out, and we still have at least one more weekend of graphics. So graphics are programmed to go out for the rest of the day, introducing some of our cohort speakers. We finally selected our opening keynote speaker. And I know some people are kind of like, how are you going to put out a flyer and you don't have all your speakers? But I had to really be prayerful about who that person was going to be. And I'm super excited to announce that Jennifer Watley Maxell is going to be our opening keynote speaker. She just has a beautiful heart for ministry. Her resume is something serious, but it's like the spirit that really connected with me. And that's what I always want to bring to you all, are people who have a heart for ministry, who are not just doing it because, it's a revenue stream, or they're doing it because they're trying to collect a check, but people who really want to pour for themselves. Like you were saying about Cindy Trim, you can tell the difference. Like whether it's virtual or on a stage, you can tell when people are there just to sell you, or when people are just there because they're trying to collect a check and get out, or when people are there because they have a vested interest in you being successful. So really excited about her. We got Dr. Otis Moss III coming on Thursday, and like his level of preparation, like if I can tell you that, like he takes his work very seriously. Like, like I've had, people who, are speaking and, it's the day of, and I'm like, are they going to show up? But his communication through his staff, just about asking questions about the demographics, asking questions about, who's going to be there and where are they in their ministries. And it was April and this is in July. And just knowing that he's putting that much preparation into it means a lot to me, because it means that, he's really intentional about what's going to be poured out to you all. And then I had a wonderful conversation with Dr. Pamela Lightsey. She's going to be our Friday keynote speaker, and just a beautiful heart as well. She's the author of, and I can't remember the name of her book exactly, but she focuses on the intersection of womanism and being queer in the Black church. Well, I don't know if it's specifically the Black church, but for me, a Black queer woman in ministry is an anomaly. Like, you don't see that a lot. And so we're just really excited to hear her perspective, because, if we're honest, like the Black church does not really want to address sexuality issues head on. And so Rethinking Church, like, I think it's time for us to address that head on. And I really want to hear her perspective on how we can approach this work in a way that is sensitive to communities that a lot of us just don't have an understanding of.
No, absolutely. And just the 3 keynotes that you got lined up. I mean, last year was phenomenal. Was great with the keynote speakers. And it's kind of like this. It's like when you do this, and I don't know if you do, I know you don't think this way, but it's like, okay, now that and last year was the first year, and you came out like here. So it's almost like Keith Sweat coming with his first CD. How do you top your first, you gotta, now you've gotten off at this level, so now you got to take it even to another level of what the expectation will be from everyone and everything like that. So I love how you were saying, you know what, yeah, last year we gave you this, we
Right.
gave you this, but this year we're going to give you this, which is going to take what we had last year and take it even to a greater, a greater level for those that are in the church, around the church. And I think, and I love the way that you think outside the box. And I call it the 21st century way of thinking.
Right.
Because church doesn't belong in a box. My God that I serve, I don't know about anybody else's, but I can't put him in a box.
Right. Right.
We can't put him in a box. We can't limit him to, we say, what he can and can't do, because he can do all things but fails. I ain't trying to preach, but I'm just telling you what I know and what I've seen about the God that I know that we serve and everything. So being able to take it to that next level of learning, that next level of being able to bring a new dynamic to rethinking church and what these particular keynotes will bring this year, I love it, and I mean, I can't wait to hear. To hear what they're going to be speaking about, to hear what they're going to be talking about, and then the breakouts as you have each day that'll be going into. So I don't know if you want to talk about those,
Yeah.
the breakout session and the speakers, that the other speakers that'll be
Right.
coming for each day, because it's just tell them how many speakers are there going to be in this 3-day summit.
I think it's going to be about 75 sessions altogether. So we're actually using a different formula this year, because last year
Okay.
it was kind of like themed by day. So I think the first day was like
Mm,
Christian education, church
right.
administration,
Right.
then like digital discipleship. And someone like messaged me. So when you guys send me messages, like I listen, like I actually like take your feedback seriously. And so someone was like, well, what if I missed like the digital discipleship because I had to work that day. So that means I missed all those sessions. And so I was like, that's a great point. And then I had someone else, talking about how we didn't focus on like worship and arts at all. So I was like, okay, so this year we're breaking it up into cohorts. Also from a cost perspective, like some people want everything, some people don't. We're going to talk about that later. But
Mhm.
we have 6 cohorts. We have our Christian education and church administration led by Dr. Monique Flemings, who is just like an amazing transition specialist. Like she was in our Pastors Do More Than Preach session, and
Mhm.
none of us wanted to leave. I mean, just like the way poured from her heart was just like amazing. Then we have demographic ministry led by Amal, who was one of our speakers at the summit last year, and she's Muslim. But she is committed to this partnership with the Christian faith, because in her presentation last year, she just talked about like the commonalities that I don't even think a lot of us recognize. But the
Right.
demographic ministry cohort is going to focus on ministering to different communities. So we have
Mhm.
people who are going to be talking about ministering to like the special needs community, ministering to people who have like special abilities, men's ministry, which I don't think we put a lot of emphasis on. So that cohort is really going to focus on, how do you create ministries for, different communities? Because we like to think that our ministries apply to everybody, but at some point, you have to identify like, who do I truly serve? Like, who do I really serve well? And then how do I ensure that I'm building something that they want to be a part of? And then we have the digital discipleship cohort, which I'm actually going to lead this year. I just like, it's just something that I just have some stuff that I want to pour into you guys. And I didn't want to be a keynote speaker. I didn't feel like that was the right place, but leading this cohort is definitely a passion area for me. And
Yeah.
then we have economic empowerment, which is going to be led by the Reverend Dr. Robert Turner. He's actually in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the historic Mount Vernon AME Church. Follow him. He is doing an amazing work at that church, and just around like reparations and what does it truly mean to like empower the Black church and the Black community. And so I was honored when he said yes, just to bring his voice and his lens to that cohort. And then we have the social impact led by Pastor Gabby Wilkes, who again has a great heart for ministry. Her and her husband co-pastor, and she does a lot of social justice, social impact work. So she's going to lead that conversation. And then we have the worship and arts. So for all of you who are interested in like worship through music, worship through plays, worship through graphic design, like all of that is a part of the worship experience. And worship is more than just what happens on Sunday morning, but it's about what you put out and how you're engaging people so that they can make worship a part of their life. So we just have like some dynamic cohort leaders, and then the speakers within the cohorts. Like I can't remember everybody's name, so I'm not even gonna try. But go to the Rethinking Church group and you'll be able to see some of them. Like I said, we still have more that we're announcing, but we're probably at about 40 maybe of the 60 or so that we'll be putting out. And then we're doing some mental wellness check-ins. So we don't have a mental wellness cohort, but we're doing some afternoon check-ins with some mental wellness specialists. So yeah, we got a lot of sessions, and you guys are going to see the advertisement, but if you're watching, then you get to know first. But we're doing a $99 all access pass special. You get access to all of this content for $99 if you register this weekend, because we're also opening our grant application, our Community Impact Awards nomination, and our TV pitch competition. And you have to be registered to participate in all that. So giving you all the opportunities, save some money, register for $99, and you get all of those sessions for the 3 days, including the video replay. Plus, you can apply for a ministry grant. We have 6 categories. We know you need money. We know you need help. We want to help. Impact Award, like people are doing some great stuff in ministry, and a lot of times like they don't get recognized for that. So our Impact Awards, will have an Impact Awards ceremony where we will present those awards, and maybe a little change to help you continue the great work that you're doing in the community. So just really excited to pull all this together. Like you said, it's like I had to think about from last year, like, all right, where do we go from here? And just pulling these elements together. Our author showcase is a part. So if you're an author, you want a place to talk about your book, register for a 1-hour slot. And it's almost like you're a speaker, because you have 1 hour where you get to talk about your book, engage with the audience, promote it, get some book sales. Trust me, I've written 17 books. I know how hard it is to get out there and promote your book and to find a space to talk about it outside of your own network. So if you're an author and you're looking for a space to talk about your book, register for a showcase. We only have about 25 slots left. So I suggest you go ahead and lock that in, because once they're gone until the next time. So yeah, it's a lot going on, right?
I told y'all, Rethinking Church is not plain. This is serious. If you are a pastor, a minister, even a community leader, if you, like she just mentioned, if you're an author, Rethinking this summit encompasses the community, and that's what it's about. Business, if you're an entrepreneur, business owner, it encompasses everyone, and that's what the community is about. And I tell people, when you think about the community, you think about these 5 elements. You think about the family, government, education, business, and the church. That's a community. And if you look at those things that we just talked about, that Rethinking Church is going to be having, it addresses all of those different entities that make a community strong. Right. Because the community is only as strong as its weakest entity. I promise you. If you look at the communities, like we talked about, if you look at the communities and you see the issues that we have as a community, I promise you, and take a look at those communities that are stronger, that we know that are our community, and make them stronger, make our businesses stronger, make our families stronger, hold government accountable. have our educational system, like she talked about. That ecosystem is what our educational system depends on. The
Right.
more money, the more money that our community has, the better our educational system can be. I promise you. All of these things are connected. They're
Yeah.
connected. So this is where you want to, I promise you, this is where you want to be. So mark your calendars now. Um, Lakeisha, you can give the date so that people can know, but you want to mark this on your calendar. This is what I call the be in the room. This is a be in the room event. You need to, this is where you absolutely want to be in the room. One, for several reasons. One, because you never know who you may meet in an event like this, that you need to meet God, that God has purpose for you to meet, to be able to do what it is that you need to accomplish, that you've been called to accomplish. And then also, you want to make sure that you're in the room because you want to make sure that one, that you get poured into. That's what
Yes.
you'll get. This is what you'll get. And I call it the picture in the glass theory, Lakeisha. You know, you go to a restaurant and you sit at a table and there's a glass at each setting, right?
Right.
And then what do? They bring a big pitcher of water, tea, lemonade, whatever it is that they bring to the table. And they use the pitcher to pour into the glasses. And that pitcher is used to fill those glasses up. But what it is, sometimes with the glass, where we
Mm.
sit and we have to get poured into. We have to
Yes.
learn. We have to get those tools. We have to have all of those things that we need in order to be able to what? Be the pitcher. Because
Yes.
then after you come from the rethinking church, you now become the pitcher. Because
Yes.
you then pour into your community. You pour into your congregation. If you're a pastor, you pour into your congregation. If you're a family, if you're a parent or family, you pour into your family. Your business, you pour into your business. You're able to do all of those things. Even if you're a politician, you get to pour into the community that you are accountable for. So all of those things are part of that, of getting poured into and then actually pouring into others. It becomes a cycle where you do that, where you attend certain events that you get your knowledge from, that you're able to be around other people, develop those relationships, develop those relationships that you'll have that will be able to if you're a business, you'll be able to grow your business, connect your business with other businesses that are going to be there. If you're a church, connect with other churches, connect with the communities that you're going to be a part of and everything like that. All of those things get thrown into that mix and being able to, what you'll be able to come away with from the Rethinking Church Summit. And I promise you, you won't leave this summit the same way that you came in. And for those that have seen me do the videos that I've done, my goal that I tell people is to make you better by the
Right.
end of 2021 than you were at the beginning of 2021. And these kinds of events go towards making you to who it is that you want to be by the end of this year. I promise you, you won't be the same after leaving this event. You can't. You can't attend something like this and all of these great things that are going to 70. Where else you gonna go and see 75 speakers? Please name me another conference
Right.
that you
Right. For
gonna go.
$99, right?
Yeah, right.
But
Yeah, for $99. Where?
I
Oh
know, I'm
wait.
crazy. I'm crazy. I know. But I think you said something that was really critical. You said this is a be in the room type event. And that's something that like really hit me last year because that's what attendees were saying was like, I met so many people. And even in my friends list, like
Mm-hmm.
I see people who are connected to other people that I know it
Right.
happened through the summit because it's like there's no other way that like you guys met each other. And
Right.
so just like knowing, and I've even had people who've gotten like other speaking engagements or that they booked a speaker to come into their ministry or their church to help them. Like I've gotten
Right.
so many testimonials from people about
Right.
what happened after the summit. And that's always been the goal is for it not to just be an event, but an experience and an opportunity for us to grow together.
Right.
One of the things that we're planning this year is some pre-conference, pre-summit events where you're going to get to know the speakers beforehand, but also some continuing conversations. So we're
Right.
going to have the speakers to come back quarterly and do a check-in because they're going to be dropping so much information that it's a lot. So So instead of you feeling like, all right, I got to do everything at one time, like we're going to have opportunities for you to do some check-ins with the speakers. Like, here's a strategy that we discussed. How are you doing with that? How can I support you so that you can really become a part of our community? Because that's what Rethinking Church is like, we're a community. It's not just an event. It's not just an organization. And it's definitely not just about me. Anybody who's worked with me know that it's not about me. Like, I'm always like, all right, so I got an idea. If y'all have different ideas, if you have, a different road that we can go down, like, I'm cool with it. I'm just like the starting place, and at this point, like the fundraiser to make sure that we have the resources to do it. But it's about like bringing us together so that we can truly create God's kingdom here on earth. And that happens not just in the church, not just with the pastor, but it's when our lives become ministry. When we each identify our calling. How do you fulfill your calling in your social justice work? How do you fulfill your calling in your business? How do you fulfill your calling in your family? Like, it can't be a Sunday, Wednesday experience. It has to be a total experience. And you have to be around people who can pour into your glass. Like, I love that analogy because it's so true. Like, who's pouring into you? And like, I look at these opportunities to get poured into too. That's why I always say, like, I'm a little selfish because I create a program that I want to come to. Like, I'm glad y'all like, so yes, I want that. Yes, I want. And so I started to create something that I want. And then I'm prayerful that it's also like, what you guys want, because I'm thinking about you and what experiences do we need to have? What information, what conversations do we need to have that are not being had everywhere else?
Absolutely. And you mentioned something that I want to pick up on. And if you want to talk about it, then we can. If not, then fine too. But you talked about fundraiser or sponsorships. How can, if somebody's listening to this right now, they're like, oh, Lakeisha, you got me. I want to be a sponsor. I got a business that I want to actually be a part of and connect with Rethinking Church, to be a sponsor, to be able to assist in bringing this summit, this vision to reality. How can they do that? How can they connect with Rethinking Church?
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to say that, like, for our organization, we operate on a crowdfunding model. So for whatever event that you register for, the money goes back into the event. So even with the Pastors Do More Than Preach, we gave away 10% of the registrations, in addition to people making donations for a family in Texas during the energy crisis. Last year, we provided scholarships for, I think, like 25 people. We had international attendees that wanted to come. They couldn't afford it, so we provided scholarships for them. We provided ministry grants. One of the grant recipients is a speaker again this year, and he's going to talk about how the grant that we provided helped to catapult his ministry to the next level. Like, he's been sending me updates throughout the year, and he keeps saying, like, your grant helped me. And I'm just like amazed that, like, we were able, through the money that you all paid, we were able to help his ministry. And so there are a few ways that you can get involved. You can sponsor a session. So if you want to, like, introduce a speaker for one of the sessions, you can sponsor a session. You can be a vendor. So if you're a business owner, you have a ministry, you're trying to recruit people, trying to get in front of people, you can have a virtual vendor space. And then we have named opportunities. So you can have a grant named after your business. You can have one of the impact awards named after your business. You can have one of the cohorts named after your business. So if you want to get your brand out there, if you want to get out there, like, we invest in marketing. Like, we actually run ads for these events so that we can find new people, and it's not just marketing to our network. So if you want to get your brand out there, DM me. You can go to the Rethinking Church Strategies website, but there are tons of ways that you can get involved, and we have different levels to make it affordable for people, no matter what your financial situation is, other than free. Like, we don't have the free model, but if you want to make an investment. And I'll also say that the investment is not only for the summit and the awards and the grants, but it's also to help fund the digital ecosystem. So some of the money from the summit is going toward the app that we're building. Some of the money from the summit is going toward Rethinking TV, which is a channel that we're launching in September. We're launching like Nerd TV. That's the best way to describe it. Like we're launching TV for people who want, to watch book interviews, who want to, watch talk shows with substance, who want like political news from the Black perspective. We're looking for show ideas. We have a few that we already have under our belt. But if you have a show idea that you want to pitch to us, we are going to pay. Listen, we're going to pay to have your show produced. What does that mean? That means that we have a production team that's going to make sure your lighting is good, that's going to make sure your equipment is good, that's going to edit your content, and we're going to build out a brand for you to put on Rethink TV, which will be on the digital streaming channels like the Roku, the Apple TV. It's going to be on those platforms. So if you have a podcast and you're like, my podcast is ready for the next level. If you have a live, you're like, my live is ready for the next level. Like, pitch it to us. And we, if we select you, we will pay to produce a pilot season, 5 episodes, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But, we're looking for smart TV. We're looking for people who want to have conversations that appeal to the intellect of our audience. So if you think that, you have a good idea, like we want to hear it. And all that information is coming out in our group later today. So stay tuned to get access to the applications for that.
Yeah, I told y'all this is another level, and this goes beyond the walls of the church, and that's what this is all about. This isn't the church that our parents and our grandparents grew up in. This is taking church beyond the walls. This is taking it beyond the thinking of just being in or sitting on a pew, having a pastor come up to a podium, speak to you, preach to you for a couple hours, and then you go back home, and then you don't see them until, would you say, Wednesday? for Wednesday Bible study. This is not that kind of thing that we're doing here with Rethinking Church. This is church 24/7. This is doing those things that will not only have to do with the church, but the community as a whole. The church is just one part of what it is that it will address and everything like that. And hey, the name is appropriate, Rethinking Church. And I love the hashtag that you have for this. Excuse me, for this year. Can you talk a little bit about that? And what gave you that idea of what that, of that hashtag? Because I love it. I absolutely love it and think it's great.
Yeah, so a part of the consulting that I, was doing with churches, one of the questions that, I had to ask, and, I already get the check before like I come in, so I can like ask these questions and, people get upset, but it's like the reality. But, the question is like, what impact is your ministry having? Because I see a lot of ministries that are doing things that are comfortable for them, things that they want to do, things that, are easy for them. But then the question becomes like, but what's the impact? Because like I've had churches say, we're doing this, and, the people aren't joining our church. And the thing is like, did you have an impact? Did you, just do enough? And I think like the analogy that I like to use is when the lame man was at the door in the book of Acts. And he had been there, and they said, people kept carrying him to the door. Like every day they would carry him to the door, and people would walk by and give him change. And then one day, Peter and John came, and they gave him a hand up. And I feel like that's what we do a lot of times, is like we're giving handouts to people, but we're not giving them a hand up, because they were like, and miraculously he was able to walk. But my question became, how long had he been able to walk before someone helped him stand up? Because people took for granted that he couldn't walk, and so they just kept carrying him. But no one thought that, maybe the change that you're looking for is not money. Maybe the change that you're looking for is for somebody to help you get up on your feet. And I feel like a lot of times the ministry we're doing is ministry that makes us comfortable, because, we can, throw, a couple of dollars at somebody, but it takes real effort to say, let me reach out my hand and touch your hand and help you get up and move from where you are to a better place. And the thing that was so astounding to me is they said that when he went into, I think it was the synagogue, or he went into where they were worshiping, and the people were amazed. So that means like they didn't believe that change was possible for him. they didn't even believe it. Like they thought that, just giving this token, these, couple of pennies or whatever was enough. They didn't believe that he could walk. And I think that so often we don't believe that the people that we're serving can do better. So we give them just enough. Instead of, yeah, like let's do some budgeting classes. And if you finish that class, let's put $100 in your bank account to help you get to the next level. Like, what are we doing to truly help people get to the next level? Not just like, all right, like pray about it. Yeah, praying about it is good, but help me get the resources so that I can move on to the next level, and I can stop praying for a blessing and I can start being a blessing. And so that's
Mm,
the ministry that impacts. And that's what I was looking for in the speaker applications. Like, does your project, what you're proposing, like, is it going to help people to have an impact? Is it going to help get them to the next level? Or is it the same presentation that you've been doing and we've been hearing, for the past 5 years, and no one's done anything with it? And that's like not a knock on anybody, but it's just that it's time for us to change the conversation. It's time for us to dig deeper. It's time for us to go to a new level of accountability so that we can start to really impact people's lives, because that's what brings people to Christ. When they feel that change, when they see the church being the church, when they see people being who Christ says that we're supposed to be, and they're like, wow, I want some of that. I want to be a part of that. And so that's what we're trying to impact people's ministries, like to take it to the next level. And we want to provide the support not only in July but ongoing, so that we can make sure that as you need support, as you need additional resources, we're going to be there to provide that.
yeah, absolutely. So understand this, that having the mindset coming into this summit with the mindset that ministry that impacts, that's the overall theme. And here's the thing. To have ministry that impact, you got to do two things. And here are the two things. One, you have to leave the familiar and you elevate your influence. Leaving that familiar, saying, I'm used to doing church like this. I'm used to be able to having a business that does this. Leaving that familiar. I call it being comfortable with being uncomfortable. You
Yeah.
can't you can't be better. You can't do better. You can't become greater by staying exactly who it is that you are right now. You have to be able to do some things that are going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to unlearn some things. You're going to have to learn some new things. I'm going to say that again. You're going to have to unlearn some things when it comes to how you do church or how you may see church. It's like I said, it's not our parents and our grandparents' church. This
Yeah.
is about doing it on another level. Not saying that we forget what we forget what it used to be and the things that we do, because there's usefulness in what we got, but we have to be able to leave that familiarity that we've had, and be able to take our level of influence. If you are a pastor, a leader, entrepreneur, and you want to have greater influence, you've got to be able to move to that next level. In order to elevate your influence, in order to be able to be greater than what you want, than you are right now, or what you want, what you're looking to be greater than what you are right now, you have to do some new things.
Yeah.
Doing things in 2021 is about doing things different. Doing things and doing things in your church for 2021, having a greater impact, having a ministry that impacts. We've all seen that. Just, the pandemic has done nothing else but has taught us that we have to do things different, that
Yes.
we can't do things the same. We have to be able to shift. We have to be able to adjust to how we do things, and move. And those individuals, those organizations, those churches that have been able to adjust, that have been able to pivot, that have been able to shift, they are the ones that you see in 2021 that are moving to another level. So, and that's what Rethinking Church is about. We want you to come away from the summit being able to elevate your influence, being able to elevate, having a ministry that impacts. I promise you, everything that she just listed that's going to be happening in Rethinking Church is geared to take you to that hashtag,
Yeah.
that ministry that impacts. It all points to that for you. There's not one thing in here that we've talked about, that we've listed, that does not do that very thing. It's not. That's the underlying or the overarching theme for everything that is going to be going on at the summit. So
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting that, there are so many people who want to be a part of it, and just thinking about, the new people that we are
Yeah.
going to meet, because I really believe that, there's a desire for this. And, the reality is, like, it's not for everybody, because
Mm.
everybody's not ready for change, and that's
Right.
okay. But for the
Right.
people who are ready for change, and that's why it's called a summit. So I was
Right.
even intentional with that, because summits are not conferences. Conferences are just,
Hmm.
thousands of people in the room.
Right.
But summits, when I looked at the definition last year, it said that a summit is where thought leaders come together to
Mm.
discuss ideas. And
Hmm.
that those are the people that I want, that I'm intentional about bringing thought leaders who are coming together to share ideas. So, even with the caliber of speakers that we have, like, we're all on a journey to learn more. Like, I don't know everything. That's why I bring in all of these experts, because it's not about any one of us, but it's about us as a community sharing information, sharing resources. And that's what makes you better. You're not going to become better just by sitting in these sessions, but it's going to be about reaching out to people, becoming a member of their Facebook group, sometimes like joining their mastermind group, joining a class that they're having, hiring them to consult with you. Like, we have to get into the mindset of investing in our success and stop looking for
I
everything
like
for
that.
free. Like, I know it's a
Yep.
lot of free stuff out there, and that's great, but I guarantee you, at the end of most of those free programs, there's a pitch for you to buy something, because nobody's out here doing this work for free. I'm just asking y'all for the money up front. Like, I'm just going to be honest. Like, it's stuff that we need to do. We need you to help us, to make that happen. But you have to get into the mindset of investing in yourself if you see that it's worth it. Like, if you look at our program, you look at these 75 speakers, 30 author showcases, all the other stuff that we're doing, and you say, you know what, it's not worth it. Don't spend the money. Don't register. If you look at it and it's not worth it to you, like, don't do it. But if you look at it and you're like, this is where I need to be, the reason we're having this conversation is not just to sell you guys, but to help you understand what's happening. Because when you see it in images and Facebook posts, if you don't really get it, but when you hear what we're talking about, we hope that you get it and you say, yes, this is what I want to be a part of, and share it with your church. Like, I have one church who has already registered, like, their ministerial team, because they want to come get the information, and then they're going to go back and brainstorm and figure out how they can use it. I've had churches from previous events that use our videos as training tools. That's what this is for. Like, this is not just, oh, we had a wonderful time and now let's go. This is like
Right.
information for you to
Yep.
use to do ministry. Like, we just want you all to feel our heart for this work, and to become a part of it. So
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what it's about. And this is one of those events, like we said, that were purposeful, and the content. And Lakeisha's been adamant about that. She was purposeful in what she wanted to be able to bring, and because when you're purposeful, you're more successful in bringing about the results that you want. And in order for leaders to be able to get results in their particular area, whether it's their business, whether it's their church, there has to be certain things that are brought. And I promise you that the speakers that will be from the keynotes all the way down to the different cohorts that will be going on to all filter into that one thing, so that you're able to then take the information that you're gathering here and be able to take it back to your church members and the community that you are a part of. Because what good is it to be able to gain all of this information
yeah,
and not share it, not pour into others, so that they can then also do the things that you have now been equipped with. You now equip them with it, because like I told you, and that's exactly what Christ did. He didn't just take that information for himself. He actually equipped his disciples to be able to go out and do the work, and then they had the responsibility to go out and do the work. And that's what, as the body of Christ, we are all called to go out and do the work. this isn't just for pastors. This is just
Right.
for those everyday members of the church that will attend this too, to go out and do the work and do your part in ministry and what you'll gain from this. Because I believe this is a summit that is for all thinkers, like you said, all thinkers, leaders and thinkers, to come together and to make themselves better. But then also, okay, how can I then take that and be able to make others that are connected to me better as
Yeah.
well? So that I truly believe that those who will attend will come away with that. This is definitely something that is going to be life changing, and is going to be able to, like I told you, you just can't come away from this not being the same. You just won't. I know what I experienced last year, being a part of this and being a part of it, and then just seeing the growth that I've had in this year time span because of attending this event last year and being a part of the committee that I was a part of, and then coming around this year and being an even greater part, engaged in it and everything like that. It's taking it to the next level. As we talked about. So, Lakeisha, I thank you for this, for being obedient, for following what it is that God has charged you to do, and then saying, "Hey, I can't, like God, I can't do this by myself. So
Right.
I I need you to put the pieces around me to be able to do it, and in order to be able to do it, and He will do nothing shorter than what His word, and do exactly that. Because I think I told you before, I've told God before, your name on this, so
Right.
your
Right.
name
Like
on
this is
this. So your
like we
name
were
on
lifting
this,
your
not
name.
mine.
So yeah. So we're looking at you. Looking at you guys.
So we're just looking to have a great time. Keisha, if you want to give, I guess, the information for how people can register, because
Yep.
registration is already open and everything like that. And just I know over the several couple of weeks, y'all ain't heard. Y'all gonna hear it. Y'all gonna be like, rethinking church. Are y'all just what? Well, y'all just stop. Just stop. Y'all get all this
Yes,
folks
yes. May
every other
1st, like
day.
today, yes, today is the kickoff. Like from here on out, like we are pushing full speed ahead. So just like so excited. And yes, like that $99 special, you can go to Rethinking Church Virtual Summit 2021. Look for the all access pass for $99. It's regular $199 because it's a lot of information that you're getting, and we got to pay the speakers. So really excited. Like last year, our registration rates were really low because it was our first year, but this year we're kicking it up a notch so that we can provide a higher level of experience. So looking forward to having you guys to be a part of this event. Thank you, Leroy, for taking time out of your Saturday to have this conversation with us. I definitely think that it was needed just to kind of brief everybody, to get it all out and let you
Yep.
guys know that, been a little quiet, but it's not because like I haven't been working. But um, if you saw my Slack channel, you would know.
She she
that,
been she been working, y'all. Don't trust and believe. She has been working. She been putting that work in, y'all. Believe that.
yes, yes. So yeah. So thank you, Leroy. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. And to all of
Absolutely.
our viewers, whether you were watching live or you're watching the replay, thank you for your time. Thank you for whatever portion you were able to listen in on, and share it. Share it with some people that you know
Yes.
can find value in the event and the information, because we do have a lot of great stuff coming up that we want you all to be a part of, because we can't do it by ourselves. Like, there's no point in it just being me and Leroy. Like, we're creating this for the community. So that's why we need you all to know about it so that you can be a part of it. And if you have suggestions, ideas, I'm always listening, and, prayer about how it fits into the vision and how we can be better. Like, nothing is set in stone. So if you have ideas, let us know. But
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Rethinking church, y'all. Ministry that impacts. That's what it is. 2021 coming up. Did you give the date for the
Yep,
for
yep,
the summit?
July 14th through the 16th. So it's a
Oh, yep. It's right there
Wednesday
too.
through Friday, and it is during the day. So we'll kick off with our coffee chats in the morning, which is a new feature that we're adding. So we're going to have a little business roundtable talking about like the future of ministry, future of technology. I feel like a lot of
Yeah,
times with the church, like we're so focused on our history and the past that we're not looking forward. I
yeah.
have a 15-year-old, and so I'm always imagining what is the church going to
Mm,
look like when he is a young adult and starts to decide for himself whether he wants to go. Like, what is technology going to be like? What is the experience going to be like? And so we
right.
have to start looking toward the future of church, not just, where we are today and how we're going to get out of the pandemic, but what is the church going to look like 10 years from now? Because
Yeah,
I feel like one of the reasons so many churches are struggling is a failure of, imagination, of, planning for the future. So many were not prepared even for like this glitch. So what do we need to do to look forward? So we'll start off with our coffee chats, go into our keynotes, then our breakouts, and then some afternoon fun. We have a celebrity DJ that's going to be with us on Friday afternoon. Super excited about that. And then our author showcases. So in the evening, you can, grab your glass of wine or water or whatever you drink and sit and listen to some book discussions, participate, and connect with some of your favorite authors. So it's gonna be an experience. If you're
yeah.
up for the challenge,
Exactly.
it's gonna be an
Exactly.
experience.
It's it's not just this isn't, like we said, this isn't your average, this isn't a conference, this is a summit, and this is an experience. It's not just come, oh, we just gonna come together. We want you to have an experience, and that's what all of these pieces are about, so that you can experience Rethinking Church, not just come to Rethinking Church Summit. It's gonna be an experience exactly like that. I love that. I love that. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
it's been phenomenal. Lakeisha, thanks for having me. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to all of these great things that are going on, and can't wait to have people just be to be able to that to have this experience, and to be able to encounter, because like we said, our mission, I believe, is to make you better after this summit than you were before you came to the summit. So we'll talk to y'all soon. Trust me, y'all gonna see us.
Definitely.
Y'all gonna see us.